Welcome to the TheEnterKeyExperience. My name is Matt86, and this is
Astro's Knots.
all right. And so another week has passed. We got some more information about different things, but mostly some interesting topics that we can go over as well. I think we could start with something a little bit more. I don't know. What would you say? Let me just start with a question, if anything. Would you say
Okay.
you would call yourself a celebrity?
No, not by any means.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a celebrity either, and at least not in the sense of like streaming or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think in the terms of maybe a Z list, because if A list is Brad Pitt, I would definitely be on the Z side of things, just of based on like the things I've done when it comes to my writing and things like that. But no way, shape, or form I actually think I'm a celebrity or a star or anything like that. But I would say this: there are people that do what we do, in that I mean gaming. And
Yeah.
so that is part of one of the topics we wanted to go over. And what maybe some people might actually be surprised about are some of the celebrities, and I mean like real celebrities that play video games or do some version of gaming. And I think a lot of people will see this as something that is cool. Some people might think it is dorky. Some people might be like really surprised. Some people might not be surprised. But I would say overall, I think it's a cool like fact to know about some of these things. And being a gamer and being someone that's been in this ecosphere of pop culture and whatnot, I think it's really cool some of these celebrities that are into the same things I am. So I would say I'll let you go first. Maybe
Okay.
you might have a list of celebrities already that we can go over.
Yeah, I have one celebrity at the ready. We're going to be talking about Robin Williams, who
Oh yeah.
loved The Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So much.
yeah, that he named his daughter after Zelda herself.
Yes. Yep. That
Yeah.
one I'm hugely aware of because I mean we're both Zelda fans. You and
Yep.
I are also a fan of Robin Williams. You know, rest in peace.
Yep.
I would say also at one point I was even kind of a fan of his daughter Zelda just because I had a crush on her when I was a kid. I think that is probably the biggest game nerd move that you could probably pull, is naming your kid after one of your favorite video game things, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that if I had the, I don't know, clout, I guess, or something to do that, I'd probably do the same thing. But it also, it's kind of one of those weird things that became kind of normalized with a lot of the current generation, or at least the last generation for millennials, because I've definitely met Clouds, you know, like people named after the Final Fantasy VII character Cloud. I have definitely met, let's see, what else? I know there's other characters or other character names that were used for kids. You could probably think of one too.
I could think of something like Daisy, maybe. I could see that.
Oh, yeah, for Mario and stuff.
Yeah.
Or not unless you thought something else, but yeah, actually, now that I think about it, one of my good friends is named Mario, and I worked with him at GameStop at one point. So
Alright.
there's one right there. So I'm not sure if he was named after Mario the character or if that's just coincidence, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case either. So
Yeah.
either way, that's really cool.
Funny enough, I had a friend in high school who was named Kirby.
Oh, interesting. Huh, that is interesting. That's the last
Yeah.
name I would feel like as a last name that makes sense, but like as a first
No,
name.
that's a first name.
Oh wow, that is interesting. That's another
Yeah.
level of confidence you're giving your kid to name him. It was a guy or a girl?
It was a guy.
Oh, okay. Because I can only imagine what that'd mean if it was a girl.
Oh god, that has so much implications.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll skip that for now. But yeah, so that's a flex as a parent celebrity to name your kid after your favorite video game. Actually, another person that was really into Zelda, who also worked alongside Robin Williams in the movie Miss Doubtfire, was Sally Fields. So she also got into playing Zelda as well. And actually, one of the last interviews she did, well, which was only maybe like last year or something like that, she talked about like playing Zelda all the time. So she was like really into it, and basically Robin Williams got her into playing video games, and now she's like hooked. Like she talked about how she had like a Switch and she was playing like the older versions of the game, and like that's also freaking awesome. Like she's definitely grandma age, but she don't play, you know. She play, but she don't play, you know.
Grandmother.
Yeah, or my mom in general. My mom still plays video games. She plays, you know, Skyrim and Fallout and things like that, and she loves those things. So shout out to the gaming parents, because they were our gateway, or our gatekeeper, or I don't know what the term could be used, but they led us into what we they were the ones that led us into this. And
I will say that my grandmother, whenever I played The Legend of Zelda, she'd always have like the Zelda wiki open on her phone, helping me with like the dungeons and where to go for certain items. So that's what my grandmother did when I played Legend of Zelda with her.
When I played it, the internet didn't exist for normal people, so we had to rely on a Nintendo Power magazine from like 1998 or something like that, and we got a lot of our hints from that. And it wasn't so much my mom that showed me those things, but she did introduce me to them, and she allowed me to get into it as much as I have. So there's that. Other than Robin Williams and Sally Fields, there's also a lot of other people, and I think I have one that a lot of people know about and maybe some people don't, and he is specifically one of the biggest nerds like that I can think of, that looking at him you wouldn't think he was a nerd. And that's Henry Cavill, who a lot of people know played as Superman. He played in the first, and maybe it was the first 2 seasons of The Witcher. He played The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
He was also in he was in a bunch of movies here and there. Like he's all over the place, but for the most part he is a huge nerd. One of his biggest vice, I guess, things you could call it, or like one of his biggest fandoms that he loves to talk about, is the 40K Warhammer 40K or 40,000 or however you want to call it. And he's obsessed. Like he has figures, everything. He plays the games. Like he played the newest Space Marine game. He plays the RTS versions of the game. He's absolutely huge nerd. And when he was on the set of Witcher, he was from what I've heard, and it's whatever, but from what I heard, he was a little insufferable because he was so loyal to the source material. And to me, that doesn't mean like a bad thing at all. I feel like if it was my source material, like if I was the writer, creator of something, and someone was that loyal to it, I would be praising them, if anything. Especially if there's like some bureaucratic group of idiots out there that want to try to flip that and like make it into something that might sell better, you know what I mean? So that's one of those uphill battles he's been dealing with, because he's trying to make a 40K like TV show or movie or something like that, and he's run into a lot of obstacles with that. I won't go into that specifically, but there's a lot of stories already around that where it's become messy, and he's almost left the project multiple times due to that. So it's kind of a big deal, and it's supposed to be done by the people, I think it's Amazon Prime or Prime Video or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Either way, he's my first pick, I guess you could say, for one of the celebrities. This isn't like a tier list or anything. It's just we have a list of different celebrities that we want to go through. What's another one you have?
Another one I have is Brie Larson, who plays Animal Crossing and also, as again, The Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah. I do remember seeing. I actually believe I've seen a interview where she had to quickly pocket her like 3DS or something like that, or whatever it was, because she was in the middle of playing like Animal Crossing or something like that.
Oh no, it was a recent commercial for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
I might be thinking of someone else then, because there was definitely a a video. I don't remember who it
That
was.
sounds like Robin Williams because
Oh no,
I
this was
remember
really
Robin
recent.
Williams was in a commercial for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS.
Yeah, and I think he was actually in it with his daughter too. Like they're both talking about it. But the one I'm talking about was an instance where there was like, you know how like when they set up an interview, there's like one person's like they're sitting across from each other, there's usually like a banner behind them, and
Yeah.
like they're speaking in front of the banner while, you know, but the cameras aren't just rolling when it happens. So there was like a moment where like the cameras were already rolling, you know, the interviewer was late, but you know, the person being interviewed was already there, and they had like
Okay.
their game out and they were like playing it, and then when the interviewer walked in, they had like pocket it because they were in the middle of something, and the
Yeah.
interviewer was like, what was that? But I thought that was Brie Larson. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but
I think you're thinking of someone else. I'm not entirely sure.
either way, it's another celebrity that's into gaming, and that's cool too. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Brie Larson's cool. I know she caught like flack here and there for being some like kind of feminist or something or like that, but I don't really care about that. As long as like, you know, whatever project she's working on, it's like cool, like that kind of thing, whatever. But you know, a gamer's a gamer. Well, Brie Larson's a big one. This next person is a fairly new person to the scene, I guess you could say, as far as being an actor or actress and being a fairly large star, although she's like rocketing up there as far as like being popular and being chosen for different projects and things like that. I hope I don't butcher her last name, but her name is Indy Navarrete.
I think you got it correct.
Navarrete?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So if you don't know her by name, she is the main actress from the movie Obsession. That's the main thing I know of her about right now. I think she's also been chosen to play maybe Rogue or something. So that's huge too. And I also totally agree with that. Like, I think she's got a good look for it. And her big thing was COD. So if you don't know, at one point she actually was a streamer. Streaming COD.
Okay.
I guess what happened, and maybe I might have the timeline wrong a little bit, but at one point they recorded the movie, they did all that stuff for the movie, and then there was a year or something of editing and things like that, right? And then so she thought like that was out the window, I guess, at one point. So she started streaming on Twitch. She started doing all that. And then, you know, suddenly she found out the movie was coming out officially, and they went through all this process. And of course, after all was said and done, she, of course, got really, really popular because her, you know, acting style and just being, you know, very popular because of the movie. And then, I'm just gonna have to mention it, but she's also happens to be gorgeous, you know, and very talented as well. Talent before gorgeous, but, you know, also awesome at COD apparently too, because I've seen clips of her like nailing it in so like really well. I'm not a big COD person, but I gotta respect talent where I see it, and she was actually really good. She's also a huge fan in general of that kind of stuff. So she got a fan essentially gave her a Modern Warfare 2 in like mint condition while she was like walking through the airport or something as a gift, and she like freaked out. Like there's a clip of it like going around. You know, everyone was like, wow, she really does like COD. There was a tiny bit of backlash for some stupid reason. Like she was so excited she forgot to say thank you to the person, which to me, like, that's understandable. Like I doubt she meant any ill will. Like I feel like if it were me, shell shock, or just being like super, because apparently this specific one, it was like rated or whatever, was worth like
PSA.
Yeah, it was rated like $2,000. Like it was worth like $2,000 or something like that. It was a really big deal to her, and yeah, she got it and she held on to it, and she's like, I promise I won't sell it. But yeah, she was really, really into the fact that someone thought of her like that and was like, here you go. What'd you find?
Yeah, I was looking it up. Never outside the Javits Center, she got handed a display case sealed copy of the 2009 copy of Modern Warfare 2. So it's not the Modern Warfare 2 of like 2019, 2020. This is the original Modern Warfare 2 on like fucking PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah. So yeah, she
And
was
it was
super
sold
excited about it.
around $1,000. Insane.
Yeah. So that's a huge deal for her, and I, hats off to her for, having such a interesting level of fandom towards something like that.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't, even if it was like a number one like edition of something crazy, like my number one favorite franchise in the world, I don't see the value in collectibles personally. I know some people see it as something like, I guess, comparable to like having gold, like literal gold, because
Yeah.
the value can be transferable to some degree depending on like, different factors. For me, I don't really care. I literally rather have just a bar of gold than
Fair
than
enough.
like a pre-packaged like video game or something. But then again, there was a 99, a rated 99 unopened Super Mario from like, I think it was Super Mario 64 or something, sold for like over $1 million.
Holy
And
shit. Okay.
yeah, so in that way, if it's a popular game and it's super rare, there you go. Like
Yeah.
you just got like $1 million basically. Like, I guess if you're willing to hide something that like that away for decades and you want to sell it, then go for it. I just don't see the value in it personally.
I feel like there is the value, monetary value, as you were talking about, but there's also like nostalgic value and sentimental value.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
nostalgic and sentimental value. I could get that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if it's especially a game where maybe me and like a bunch of my friends, we all played it and it was something that was given to me as a gift, like, hey, remember when we spent like tons of time on this? Then I could see something like that being valuable in that way.
All right.
But that's about it,
Fair enough.
Yeah. But what's another one that you might have?
Another one I have is Zendaya, who loves The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't expect
Yeah.
her either.
She's more of a casual gamer. However, she is a big fan of the Last of Us series, and she showed her love for the second episode of this game a few years earlier when she posted a story on her own Instagram saying that she was replaying The Last of Us Part 2, her favorite game.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. I always like to see, especially people I wouldn't expect playing video games. That's really cool. I
Yeah.
think another person for me would be Chloe Grace Moretz, or I'm sorry if I
think it's
butchered her name.
Moritz. Yeah.
I think it's Moritz. If you don't know who Chloe Grace Moretz is, she played the character Hit Girl in the movie Kick-Ass. She was also in a bunch of other, tons of movies. So she was in a movie called The Fifth Wave. Oh, she played Carrie, like a newer version of Carrie. If you don't know who that is, that's a horror movie from originally,
okay.
I think, from the 70s. She was in A Diary of Wimpy Kid in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
She was in a movie called Let the Right One In, or Let Me In, sorry. That's the Let the Right One In's a different version of that movie. So Let Me In
Gotcha.
is the Americanized version of Let the Right One In, where she's basically a vampire girl and she
All right.
meets this young boy and they kind of hit it off, I guess. They become friends, but she's still like a vicious fucking vampire, like crazy powerful, even though she's just like this little girl. You find out later that the person that's supposed to be her father is just basically what the little boy is becoming, who like the little boy ends up taking care of her, but the old man used to be also a little boy because vampires are immortal. She stayed young and the little boy grew up to be this grown man who became like the father figure. Not really father figure. It's a weird thing, but but in that, the man was like going around basically killing people for her and bleeding them so he could bring back their blood to her to feed her. That didn't last because he was getting too old. So yeah. Anyways, great movie though. It's called Let Me In. Check it out.
All right.
But anyways, Chloe Grace Moretz, she plays COD too. She's also really into COD as well.
Okay.
So it's funny, there's a lot of the people on my list play a lot of COD. But COD is understandably a big game, even though I'm not super into it. I respect that, people like to play games, because here's the thing: at the end of the day, you're playing games to relax. Even though I know people rage on these
Yeah.
games, and in some cases it might make it a little bit worse, but for the most part, it's entertainment. It's meant to calm or like wind down in the most ways. So
Yeah.
what's another one for you?
Another one for me is Tom Holland, who, funny enough, played Uncharted 4.
Oh yeah, Uncharted. Yeah, that's right. And he was
Yeah.
also in the movie Uncharted.
Yes, he
So
was.
that
Yeah, he
that
played
makes a
Nathan
lot of
Drake.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I remember that Tom Holland was talking. Actually, I remember him talking about it in an interview, specifically like, oh, what game, video game adaptation, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to play Nathan Drake or in the movie. I don't think he said Nathan Drake, but I think he wanted to be a part of the movie in some way. But he did get Nathan Drake, so.
Not only that, he did do a interview with the one and only Jacksepticeye, where he played the game with Jacksepticeye and talked about the movie.
That's right. I do remember that, actually.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like, that's cool to see that kind of crossover between video game people and like celebrity people, which is kind of funny too, because the same sort of thing happened with the movie. Oh, it's the one with it was the one movie with Ryan Reynolds where he plays like no. I mean, that is so he plays as an NPC character.
Oh, Free Guy.
Free Guy, yeah. So it's funny because Jacksepticeye was in the movie with him, with Ryan Reynolds, playing himself basically, and he, there was like that crossover again between video games and like celebrities and stuff. So that was cool too.
Yeah.
The next person is pretty well known. I would say she's pretty well known. She is known for things like That 70s Show. Everyone knows her. I would say most people know her. Her name's Mila Kunis. She is a fan of World of Warcraft. So the first celebrity that I know of that was into a MMO type game before, some other people like the only other person that's basically both a celebrity / streamer, YouTuber, blah 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 now is Markiplier, and he used to be into World of Warcraft too. But Mila Kunis was really into it for a long time, and I think she may even still play the game because I mean, it sounds like she has a lot of time. I haven't seen her in anything for a bit, but not to mean in a disparaging way. I just think if she's not working, she's most likely playing World of Warcraft, and probably, I don't know if she has kids or not, but if she does, she's probably playing with them at this point. They're probably old enough that they can experience that too. And I feel like if she's the mom that I expect her to be with, like our parents, she's probably going to be someone like that too, to her own kids, and be like, here's some video games. I know one game they're not going to be playing though. Is Roblox. Yep. So I mean, just as a heads up, she's married to Ashton oh my gosh, I butcher his name every time. Ashton Kutcher. So they're married. I believe they have kids together. I'm not 100% sure on that. I feel like they do. And if anything, they would be highly against anyone they know, especially kids wise, playing Roblox because of all the obvious news that comes out of that place that I won't go into. You can do your own research, but someone very famous got into that too, and you might know that person as Chris Hansen. So he doesn't play video games, but he knows how to catch a bad guy using video games. So there's that. What else do you got?
I got another person that I picked was Elon Musk, who plays BioShock in Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah. He also played Path of Exile too.
Yeah, he had a lot of controversy surrounding Path of Exile because he was flaunting how he was this high level and how had all this high level equipment and whatnot, and it's said that he has people who play on his account and like boost his levels and get a bunch of high-powered loot. So
yeah, let's just talk about that for a second. Not because of
Okay.
Elon Musk, but just the idea that sure, everyone's busy to some extent, but why would you want to buy or pay for someone else to be on your account to make your account or you know like your character or whatever stronger? Like that's the whole point of playing the game to me. Like the
Yeah.
struggle between level 1 and like the max level. Like that's the whole point to me. Like that's like becoming a freaking 5-star general the second you write like your name down, you know, when you sign up for the military. Like that's it's impractical, but it's also like all that experience you could have earned, where is it? It's given to someone else.
Not only that, he live streamed himself playing Path of Exile 2 on X, the everything platform.
Yeah.
And he was struggling with basic mechanics like managing inventory, using flasks, and even opening the map despite owning a an in-game high-level hardcore character with top-tier gear.
Yeah.
That just shows you that he was boosted. There is no way in hell that if you can't open a map, there's no way you are that high level.
I'm just say allegedly. Just
allegedly in case.
Allegedly, just in case.
After us.
But my whole thing is like, here's my thing. I'm speaking to you, Elon. Elon, listen up. If you want someone to play with you to help you get through those things, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But having someone else do it for you, yeah, you might as well be paying someone to do something else for you too.
Yeah.
And not in the good way. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there, especially you in your what's a good word for it? At your level, I guess you could say, that would probably, that would what?
I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. But my point is there's a lot of people that would do a lot to try to play with someone like you, not because you're famous, but because it would be an experience in and of itself. Like, to me, if I could play a video game with my favorite actor or celebrity of any type, I would totally take the chance. And to me, that would be a great opportunity for a lot of celebrities to do some sort of like fundraiser or something, you know?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
That would be an amazing thing. Like if I was, let's say, Markiplier, and I was like, hey, there's a lot of games that are multiplayer out there. They don't have to be PvP, they don't have to be COD, they don't have to be anything like that. But there's a lot of games out there where you play with other people, and if there's enough people that are into that game, and it doesn't even really matter at that point when you're a celebrity, if you're sitting down and you're playing the game and you're streaming it, and you're like, hey, like, let's get some donations rolling, and you know, whoever does this much amount or whatever, they can join me in the game, and then we can play together. Not like you're paying to play with them, it's going towards something, and it's like kind of like the reward or something. Like, I don't know if there's like some TOS bullshit involved with that, but I'm sure there's a way to word it where it doesn't sound like you're paying to actually join the game, more like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's a way around that, but the point is like, I'm sure maybe like they could figure out something for a fundraiser for a good cause. Like it could be anything, St. Jude's or something. And I don't see why like more people don't try to do that. Like even someone like I Show Speed or someone like that, or Mr. Beast or something like that. It's like the simplest thing, and I guarantee people would want to play with these people, you know? Like, and it doesn't have to be like a long drawn out RPG or anything. It could be something as simple as like, you know, NBA Jam or, you know, Madden, you know, something simple that it's like you play through one game, you see who wins. It could be even a game like Mecha Chameleon, you know, something similar like that. Something that's quick, so you know you can get more people rolling through and joining rapidly, so it's not like it's taking too long to play the game. And I don't see why they don't do something like that.
Yeah, I do want to say on the topic of TOS and violations, he did eventually admit to account sharing and having his account boosted. And he argued that it was a common practice.
Huh. I don't
Not
know
only
about
that,
that.
his admission confirmed violations of Grinding Gear Games term of service, which prohibited game sharing, and he got banned.
From Path of Exile?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Well,
yeah,
you win some, you lose some, I guess. Jeez.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing for me too is like Elon Musk has all this money that he could literally make his own game if he wanted to.
yeah,
And he can make it however he wants to the point where he can make even more money if he chose, like it. And here's the thing, if he likes video games enough that it's like becomes a passion project, even better, like show like your love for the game and do something like that. That'd be amazing. But
yeah.
I feel like he's so caught up in other stuff, whether it's drama or politics, which is basically the same thing nowadays,
Yep.
that he probably wouldn't do something like that. But all right, what else we got? Oh wait, you had Elon Musk last.
Yeah.
So my next one is a big one. I mentioned them before we actually started recording, but also a really big one. I actually will throw him out there with a couple others that are in the similar vein, right?
All right.
So this person, he's been around forever. Like he's huge in many different scenes. But this particular person is also really into Madden and COD, and that is Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg is an avid streamer, not like consistent, like I don't think he's on there all the time or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when he's on, and he shows like his support for the game and stuff like that, to the point of where he's on camera practically yelling at developers to do stuff that's supposed to help the game. And I love that because I'm that type of person too, where if I find something that's fucked up about the game, it doesn't matter what it is, I'll call out the developers or whoever that company is and be like, hey, listen, like we need to figure something better out than whatever this shit is. And I love that because a lot of the problem with video games is the monetization of little stupid things that's like unnecessary. And it honestly ends up killing the game, I think, to a degree. Maybe not like permanently, but to a degree where it becomes an issue more so down the line, where people will just get basically pay to win fatigue or something like that. And that's sad for a game where some people will start the game, there's nothing like that, and then as it goes, it gets built up and more bullshit gets added to it. One game that I can think of without a doubt has done this, because it's like their whole gaming model is Fortnite.
Yeah.
So Fortnite is the one thing where you can't go through the store without seeing some version of, hey, buy this, buy that, and when the game first came out, there was nothing like that. I remember because I was one of the founders for the game. There was, first of all, there was no battle royale. It took about 6 months. Yeah, it was just Save the World. It took about 6 months. They added battle royale. There was other games similar to it, like DayZ and stuff like that, Rust and whatever. And so these other games that were battle royales came out, and they were like, let's throw our hat in the ring. And of course, they succeeded, and they became the biggest battle royale game in the world. So because they know that they pretty much have a lock on every person that plays the game, and they can price things accordingly, they're good forever pretty much. They have people keep coming back, and they added this person, this character, or this world, or this mechanic, or whatever. And there's like, they're doing very well because of that. But I also think a lot of their pricing, for the most part, is pretty smart.
Yeah.
And I say that because there's times where if you look at their pricing or their bundle packages or anything like that, it's super basic and simple, and pretty much anyone could look at it and be like, that's a good deal when you look at it as a whole.
Oh, okay.
And then they also have, the option of buying like their in-game currency, where you could hold on to it and spend it however you want. So that's also a big thing. And then in contrast, there's other companies that will have items in their shop that cost, like, it's a single use one item, single use, and it'll cost you $2.50 for that one item. And that's like the biggest bullshit move to me. I know both of these games are technically free to play, by the way. I'm not gonna say the name of the other game, but I'm just saying, because I don't want to throw them under the bus for this. I feel like they are a newer company that needs to learn how these things work, because I worked in both sales and like a tiny bit of marketing in a way where it makes sense to price some things in a reasonable manner, because ultimately the more eyes that get put on that product because of the cost of it, because here's the thing, they're aiming high, but you know, you can only aim so high before, you know, it misses the target. And that's what they're doing, where they're putting a price on something that's so high that they might here and there get one person here, one person there buying that one thing, and it might add up. Let's say it adds up to $100 from, let's say, 25 people or something like that. The price of something adds up to $100 at the end. 25 people, $100. But guaranteed, if you lowered the price of whatever that is down to like a quarter of what it is, now you have probably 100 people buying that, and now you're probably even making more, because hey, they're gonna return to rebuy that thing because of how much it costs. Not because it's like a, oh well, I'm gonna try it this one time because, you know, I have the money now. It's more like that's cheap enough, I can keep coming back no matter what. And it's not a gamble, it's a legit thing. It's not like a, you know, some games they have the little gotcha boxes and stuff. This is like a single item that's, yeah, exactly. If you have this one item that's going to be useful forever, like you could use it once, okay, it just did this great thing, you know, and I'm going to need it again. Well, shit, I'm going to buy more of it. I'm not going to buy it once at its high price and be like, was that actually worth it? You know? That's my gripe with games and their DLC, you know, microtransaction bullshit. Anyways, but yeah, Snoop Dogg, he calls those things out. He calls them out on like connection issues. He's done that with PlayStation. He's called them out for other like glitchy bullshit in the games too. Adding new content and without like, you know, free content, not charge content, things like that. And there's other people too, like T-Pain is another big streamer. He's all over the place too. He's been going and visiting other people, like I forget his name. There's other streamers that he visits all the time. I've even seen, funny enough, I don't think it was a gaming thing, but I've also seen Kevin Hart join a streamer a couple times. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I don't get why there's not more celebrities doing this kind of stuff. You know, a lot of them are like closet nerds anyways. So why not just let that nerd flag fly or something like that? So.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they think of gaming as an embarrassing thing, because it's not for all audiences, of course. You're gonna have some people who are like super into gaming, and then you're gonna have other people be like, you're into gaming? Fucking gross. So
yeah,
I feel like that's why some of them stay closeted.
Yeah, I think that's also a weird mentality in general, not just for, you know, on the celebrity side of things too. It's like, here's the thing. People will pay, let's say, $60 to $100 on a game, but they'll also spend the same amount going out to a club where that is all alcohol and it's gone within hours. Where now that game that I bought is going to be on my computer probably for the next 2 to 3 years, and I'm going to play it multiple times, put a lot more time into it. That sounds a lot more reasonable to me.
It does, but you got to think of just like social acceptance. Not as again, just as I said, not everybody is into gaming, sadly. It's getting bigger. It's not nearly as beat down as it was like 10 years ago, but there are still people who will say like gaming and streaming and just doing all this crap is useless and it's stupid to do.
Yeah. Well, here's the one thing that I will say about gaming, right? Is it might be an ick for some women, but here's the thing. Would you rather have your guy going to a club spending egregious amounts of money on alcohol and whatever, or would you rather have him at home with his buddies online playing a game where he's only got to probably spend that once every like 6 to 10 months because he's going to be locked into that game for a long time, where he's not going to have to where you don't have to deal with him going out and running into anything you don't want him running into. You're getting secure with this nerddom that I think you you really want more than more than anything. So I think that's a positive in especially relationships, and if both people play games, even better, as long as it's in the same or similar genre too, because I've seen people where the guy plays like the COD games and stuff, and then the girl plays like the
Animal Crossing
and stuff like that, and they don't really have a crossover for spending time together. They just kind of like coexist in gaming world, which is fine. It's just if you expect to get any sort of like commingling of those two things, it's gonna be few and far between.
Speaking on that, it also just depends on like if the partner in question is like spending too much time on video games and that, because there's a healthy balance between playing video games and enjoying that and then like spending time with your partner. And if the gaming partner in question is like severely addicted to video games, that might be a little bit of a negative more than a positive. So there's got to be a healthy balance, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is also, or not the idea, what's a good way to put it? So the only pushback I would have to that is there are also people that will look at you playing a game, let's say for 8 hours in a week, not like 8 hours in a day, but look at you playing a game for 8 hours in a week and call that an addiction. And it's not because they actually think it's an addiction, but because they're trying to put like a negative spin on your hobby, not because it's something that like actually is a problem. And like, it's one thing because here's the thing for me is at one point I had been playing like pretty frequently some games, but it's also like the only escape I had before I would come home after like a 10-hour day and I want to sit down for like a couple hours to play a game. That feels like that's reasonable. If I'm out doing something constructive and being a part of society or something, then I come home and like actually want to spend time doing something like that, that shouldn't be looked at negatively. It'd be one thing if like the next day you have like a free day off or something, you don't want to do anything but play video games, and that's a consistent thing for a very long time. And then the other thing about that too is where your partner sees that as a whole. So if your partner is like constantly complaining in general, that's to me is a red flag on its own. But if it's like they don't say anything for a very long time and then they say, hey, we haven't gone anywhere for a while, let's go do something, and then you fight back against that, then the red flag is not like literally fight back, but like you push back on that idea, then that's a problem. Then there's a problem with the gaming there, because there has to be some break from it. And even myself, like, I don't always stream or play video. Like, when I'm not streaming, it doesn't mean I'm playing video games still. Like, I'm often like, I wouldn't say I'm a clean freak, but if something bugs me enough, I'm gonna go crazy on like making sure something looks better and picked up and things like that. And then I also have kids and stuff as well, so I'm not always in this like bubble that you see me here like right now. But there has to be a balance, and that's not just video games, that's in life in general. People that go out and drink and stuff, that has to not be a major part of your life. Like, you can't always be drinking. That's not only unhealthy, but it's gonna have a long-term effect eventually. So, but apart from that, and maybe talking about negative effects of things, we could probably get to the next topic, which is more of a unfortunate news title than anything. And this is more pop culture than anything. It's kind of a total deviation from the video game side of things, but it's kind of important because it's a pretty big deal. And I think I'll let you pop in with the one you mentioned, and then I'll pop in with the one I mentioned after that, because there's the one I think important to me to mention as well, because it happened, I think, between the last time we spoke and stuff. So I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. All right. If you guys didn't know, country music icon Dolly Parton passed away peacefully in Nashville on August 25th, 2026, on the day of this recording at the age of 80. Her passing followed recent health struggles with kidney and autoimmune issues. She had been privately facing various health challenges over the past year. In a past interview published just days before her passing, she shared that she had neglected some of her own health issues while caring for her husband of nearly 60 years, Carl Thomas Dean, who passed away in March of 2025. Reports indicate that she was admitted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville a few days prior to her passing due to complications from kidney and autoimmune issues, as well as bouts of dizziness and dehydration. Following her passing, her nephew and longtime head of security, Brian Sievers, shared a touching video on her official Instagram where he revealed that Parton had made a specific request for her resting place. Quote unquote, Dolly called me and said she wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life of wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest.
Sounds like something she would say.
Yeah.
Like that's a person to me that I grew up with, not like listening to personally, but my family, my grandpa was really into Dolly Parton and other like country singers and stuff too. And to me, she was an icon, like 100% an icon. So there's a lot of people that are going to feel this one, and it's, like, how old was in their 80s, you said?
At the age of 80, yeah.
At the age of 80, wow. So,
yep.
I mean, it's kind of younger than I thought she was originally. Not to say, like, she looked old in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I just feel like she's been around for so long that I'm surprised, like, she's not a little bit older, too. But she was always, like, just a firecracker of a person every time I saw her in any sort of interview or anything like that. So, it is sad, and thoughts and prayers and stuff like that to her family and whatnot. I think the next one, this one happened about a week ago, maybe actually the day after we talked. The one I'm about to mention happened. So if anyone's familiar, there's a little bit of controversy behind what happened too, but around August 16th, around a week ago, Hayden Panettiere died. And if you're not familiar with her, I'm surprised, because she was probably one of the biggest names for a long time in early 2000s, especially when the television show Heroes came out. She played basically the lead character in the show. She was a cheerleader that was almost essentially immortal, because she was essentially Wolverine without the claws. She could heal herself from anything, and she was often that character in the show where she was like testing herself all the time, like what her abilities could do and stuff like that. And she became a very prominent person in the show in general. She was also in tons of other projects as well. She was in Scream 4, Nashville, Bring It On, I Love You, Beth Cooper, Remembering the Titans, Scream 6. Oh, she was in Scream 6. Yeah, and Scream 4. So she was in Scream 4 and Scream 6, and then in Ice Princess, which I don't know what that is. It sounds
I don't know what that is either.
Racing Stripes, Malcolm in the Middle for 6 years. I didn't know that.
So yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, she was in tons of projects, and she was well loved. And so she passed at the age of, I believe it was 36.
Oh,
which
wow.
I didn't even realize she was that young. Like, young, or at least younger than me. She's essentially the same age as my youngest sister, which also throws me off too. But yeah, she died in Greenville, SC. I'm not sure what SC is.
South Carolina.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Greenville, South Carolina, August 16th, 2026. And the only reason it's kind of controversial right now is I believe she came out with a book that specifically talked about her being trafficked and used during the time she was a child actor or actress. There's something also about, I guess, her boyfriend being maybe aggressive towards her too. There had been at least 2 times where she left. Allegedly, she was taken to the hospital on a stretcher at least twice in the last year or two or something like that. And so there's a lot of controversy about that, and people think that she may have not just overdosed. It might have been something else, because that's what the official thing says right now, is that she overdosed on things. And people are saying that she also had something of addiction because of the things that happened to her in her life. So I won't try to go too deep on all that. I kind of did a little bit, but you get the idea that some crazy shit happens in Hollywood, and unfortunately it affects even someone as amazing as Hayden Panettiere, who had done a lot for not only the industry but for a lot of people. There's more to it, and more to her than meets the eye in a positive way. So it's sad, and it's interesting too. My sister, she knew I had a crush on her right around the time when the show Heroes came out, because we used to watch it together, me and my sister. Not my youngest sister, but the one. Anyways, me and my sister used to watch Heroes together. We were obsessed with the show, and so I woke up on the 17th and with a message from my sister telling me that Hayden Panettiere died, and I thought I was still asleep. I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. I had to fully awake, and first thing I do when I find out something like that is I Google it. And unfortunately, it was true. So kind of a downer, I guess you could say, for the podcast. I hate to put it that way. It's not something that we'd like to talk about, because it does kind of bring down the mood, but I feel like it's also important to recognize both of those individuals for the contributions in the arts and things like that. And also, everything I know about both of these people is they were good people, and I feel like the recognition in that as well is important. So rest in peace, Dolly Parton and Hayden Panettiere. You will be missed, and you are being missed. So moving on, even though I hate doing it this way, what's your next topic?
My next topic is about these 2 streamers, FaZe Adapt and Maya Higa. They recently experienced a terrifying close encounter with a brown bear in Alaska when the animal suddenly rushed past them to grab a salmon during their multi-day live stream. They're doing a little event where they were headed to Alaska for a special 24/7 multi-day streaming event from the 23rd to the 27th of August. While exploring active bear territory, a large brown bear sprinted past the crew at high speeds to hunt down a salmon. FaZe Adapt looked completely shocked and terrified, but later joked that he thought the encounter was going to turn dangerous. And I wanted to hear what you thought about that situation.
Oh boy, the first word that comes to mind is idiots.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, you said in the article it's an active bear location, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, active bear territory, yes.
So they willingly walked into an active bear territory, didn't expect a bear to be there.
I don't feel like they didn't expect a bear to be there. I just think that they didn't expect the bear to sprint past them. Because Maya Higa is a animal conservationalist. She travels around the world to talk about conservationalism. Yeah, she runs this sanctuary called Alveus Sanctuary.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of someone else. Okay. I mean, I'm glad they're okay. I'll just put that out there. But I feel like anytime you walk into an area that's labeled something like that, you're putting yourself in harm's way. That's like someone walking onto railroad track. When you look at the railroad, you're like, oh, trains live here. And then being surprised that a train pulls up on them. It's like, you know what I mean? But, I mean, here's the thing, too. I feel like, I don't know if they were prepared for something like this, but, I feel like they could have been more prepared for something like this. You know what I mean? That's scary, but I still think, and I'm nothing against them, but it's stupid thing to do when it's
Yeah.
it's a wild location. Like I love animals too, but I'm not gonna put myself out there where I know like some of the most dangerous animals possible live, you know. And even
Yeah.
if I had like the equipment and the resources to protect me, there's no guarantee. No guarantee when it comes to wild animals. No
Yeah.
guarantee. So I glad they're safe. Like I said,
Yep.
I never do that, and I hope they learn something important from this experience because it could have been very, very bad. So,
Yeah.
that's the last thing I want to hear is that someone like this that is actually for the animals being hurt by animals. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like it comes back to the whole Steve Irwin thing. He was
Oh
all about
yeah.
animals, and then the one thing that he cared most about ended up getting him. And
Yep.
it's still heartbreaking to even think about. And, you know, to have someone else go through that. And I haven't seen their stream, but I know who, I've like seen clips of this person. It would be sad to know that someone that put a lot of, you know, information out there as about as like being a conservationist and like how to, you know, help animals and things like that suddenly just disappear because, you know, something happened like that. So I hope they
Yeah.
learn a lesson. I hope they become a lot more prepared for something like that in the future. Hopefully they just don't do that in
Yeah.
general. If they want to go to maybe a location where it's, you know, more regulated or something like that. I'm sure they've already done something like that, but still, like,
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's just I don't fuck with wild animals, like
That's fair.
of any type, like from a small ass mouse to a big ass bear. Because here's the thing about that mouse, it can carry some of the worst fucking diseases on the planet, and the bear
Yeah.
is a fucking bear.
Yeah.
And even some of the things you think like are even more innocent than either of those birds and things like that, like you don't know, you just don't know. Like I've seen
Yeah.
videos of people in Australia, I think it's Australia or New Zealand or one of those places over there where like crows are the devil
Oh
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They will swoop down and knock you off your bike and stuff like that. And then places like Canada where the geese will just full on assault you, and there are people that have broken their arms due to
Yep.
geese attacks. You know, like you can't control these things. They're wild, so avoid them.
Yeah.
Respect them and avoid them. Like two
Yeah.
rules. That's it, you know? The only time any of that goes out the window is if you're in your house and one of them breaks in, because I
Yeah.
have plenty of things to protect me in my house. And out in the woods is not the place for me unless I'm bringing something that's less for conservation.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, and I'm not a hunter, by the way. I'm not someone that goes out and like hunts, uses bows or guns or anything like that. I probably would, but I'm also the type of person that if I did something like that, I'm using every part of that animal because
Yeah.
that's what I was taught to do. Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
eat it, if you're gonna, you know, skin it, you know, use parts that you wouldn't normally use for something, I'd probably sell the bones, you know, for whether science purposes or art purposes. I know people that do that. They'll take like the bones and they'll make some jewelry or something out of it. You know,
Yeah.
something like that where the animal doesn't go to waste. I've also known hunters that will go out and do stuff like they'll, you know, do everything out in the field, which is like they call it a field dress or field whatever, where they'll do all the cutting and stuff out in the field and they'll leave the remains of the carcass out in the field, so any animals that are like scavengers have basically a free meal. So like that's like the next best thing in a way than just like being a dick that wants to put their fucking head on the wall, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'll never understand that level of taxidermy or like wanting to put an animal's head on your wall like that. Like
People just like it as trophies.
yeah, like I would do maybe a skull or something, mostly because I'm fascinated by like the anatomy of something, but not like an animal that's barely an animal. The only thing that's even still animal is the skin and the antlers and maybe the skull. Everything else is
Yeah.
replaced by like foam, wood, nails, plastic, things like that. So to me it's pointless.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm glad they're okay, and I'm glad, everything's okay with that, and hopefully they learn their lesson.
Yeah.
And then you were mentioning something about Gamescom too.
Yes, I was. So, Gamescom 2026 kicked off with massive announcements during its opening night. Big reveals included a new expansion and free remaster for The Witcher 3, concrete release dates for Exodus, Metro 2039, and Final Fantasy, I think that's 7 Revelation? Yeah.
Yeah.
And also unexpected spin-offs like Rainbow Six Tactics.
Tactic? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the major game reveals and release dates, we got, of course, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Songs of the Past, CD Projekt Red, which is the developers of Cyberpunk 2077.
Of course.
They closed the event by revealing Geralt's final adventure, slated for a 2027 release. Additionally, a free The Witcher 3 Remastered Edition will drop on September 29th of this year.
Okay. As far as The Witcher is concerned, I only played like the second one. I don't even think I finished it. I played like, I don't know, a few hours of it or something like that. And the third one looked fun. The only thing, I think I might have played like a little bit of it when it was like free on PlayStation even. I didn't get too far in it. I think the combat was a little much for me at the time. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could probably get into it, because I like the story, even the lore and things like that I've seen from like the TV show, even though I know it's not completely canon. I think would be really cool to get into. Here's the weird thing about me, right? I am more likely to like a game that has character customization in it than a game where they throw the protagonist at me and be like, you're this character now. I feel like it's more personal when you can make your character look however you want. And there's very few games that I can think of where that doesn't matter to me. And I feel like The Witcher might be, unfortunately, one of those where I think I care a little bit too much about that.
Fair.
Yeah, and that's actually what threw me off when I first heard about Fable, the new one.
Yeah.
Because I thought for a long time when they showed the trailer that there was only one character you could play as, but apparently you have essentially a list of characters you can choose from, and you can sort of customize them, and that is better than nothing at this point.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they would have a character customization for Fable as well, but I guess we'll see when it comes out completely, because in the little showcase they showed, I think, like 4 or 5 different character styles you can do. There's like 2 female, 2 guys, or maybe 3 guys or something like that, and you could change them slightly. You could also change your outfit and stuff naturally in the game, so that wasn't a big deal. But as far as like true customization, where you're changing everything from skin color, hair color, eye color, shape of your face and things like that, that's the kind of customization that I always get excited for. And here's the funny thing too, oftentimes I'll spend the first 2 hours of playing the brand new version of that game building my character just to be exactly what I want.
Okay. Oh yeah, the next game on the list is Final Fantasy VII Revelation. This will be the final installment in Square Enix's remake trilogy, and it will launch simultaneously in spring 2027 across Nintendo Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad it's not the number of games they said it could have been, because I remember at one point they were saying it might be 5 episodes to the game. Yeah. It was a while back when they first announced the very first one, because they were saying it's all episodic and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm still a little... I haven't played much of either of those two.
The next game that we got on our list is Exodus. It is made by Archetype Entertainment, and it's their highly anticipated sci-fi RPG locked in a concrete release date of April 7th, 2027.
I have no idea about that one, so...
I've played... No, I don't think I played Exodus, actually. I thought I did. I don't think so. All right, the next game we got on our list is Metro 2039. It is made by 4A Games, and they showcased a dark gameplay trailer for the next mainline non-VR entry in the Metro franchise, set to release in February 2027.
I'm sure there's people that are excited for both of those. I could go either way with them. I'm not a big shooter. Like the last kind of game that reminds me of the Exodus game that I played was Pragmata, and I really
Oh,
liked that
okay.
game. That was really, really
Yeah.
good. The story was
Yeah.
amazing. The only thing I would say is felt a little short, in my opinion, but
Okay.
otherwise it was a great, great game. Like highly
All
rated.
right.
I hope they come out with like some version of DLC or something for it, or even a sequel would be amazing too. Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that are speculating like, okay, well they could do so much more with like at least the main character, and then whatever could happen with Diana, which is like the little robot girl, like that could
Yeah.
happen too. I could almost see a version of the game where Diana is like the main character without Hugh, and maybe they meet up again at some point, or maybe it's like even like a co-op situation between them. But
All right.
there, I'm sure there's a lot of weirdos that are thinking about that in different ways. But
Yeah.
there was ideas where people were like, oh well, what if they just made her into like a normal like android type, like
Yeah.
a adult humanoid type or whatever, and then
Yeah.
it's less weird. But I'm like, is it really, is it less
I
weird?
don't know.
It's kind of comes back to that one character in, I forget what Resident Evil game, where you protect her and she's like
Oh,
16
it's
at the
from Resident
time.
Evil. Oh wait, 16. I know
She's
in Resident
pretty
Evil
young.
2, there's this like little kid that you save from like an orphanage. I can't remember her name.
But
Sherry.
then
Sherry Birkin.
Yeah, Sherry, because in another game later, you see her and she's like fully grown.
Yeah.
And it's funny is they're both made by Capcom, Pragmata and
Yeah.
Resident Evil. So I guess that's a possibility. Either way, like see, the only thing I can imagine if they did make Diana into like some adult model of a character is maybe making her more powerful and making her more like attuned to her abilities or something like that. Because in the game, I wouldn't say she feels like she struggles, but I imagine if they made her into a different form factor where they put more, like what's the word, gadgets or something into her,
Yeah.
or more powerful, whatever, then they could probably figure that out and exploit that in a way that makes her like cool in a single player sort of situation. But also, like, I think that'd be kind of cool now I'm thinking about it, if they did do like a co-op version where someone could play either Diana or Hugh, or even maybe a third new character or something like that. But you don't really see that very often. I think they do some of the co-ops where it's like just two people. Like I was just playing, I think 6, where you could play as Ada and who's the other person? I forget the other character.
I know that in Leon's storyline, it's Leon and then a female agent.
Yeah, I forget her name. But either way, like you could play like a co-op thing with them, which I think is really cool. They could do something I feel like similar with Pragmata in a way. But either way, Pragmata is a great game, great story.
The next game that we have is Rainbow Six Tactics. It is made by Ubisoft, and it surprised tactical fans with its single-player turn-based spin-off coming in 2027.
You said Rainbow Six?
Rainbow Six Tactics.
That's interesting. That one actually kind of made me more curious than any of the other games when you mentioned some of them, because I do like more of the turn-based strategy games. Like, I like RTS as well, but sometimes like some of the turn-based strategy ones are really fun. Like there's one I play like called Demio, and it's kind of like a board game where you move your character around on like tiles and you fight. Like it's very similar to, I guess, D&D in a way, and they have a D&D version of Demio as well. So I like that game, and I like For the King is another one. So I could probably get into something like that as well.
Hell yeah. The next game on the list is a game called Anata. It is described as quote unquote anime GTA. It is an urban open world RPG locked down on January 15th, 2027.
Okay. Well, if it's better than the NTE game, Neverness to Everness game, that they were kind of doing the same thing, they kind of advertised that as kind of a GTA anime thing. If it's better than NTE, then I'd probably be all for it, because that was something I was hoping for with NTE, and like you steal cars and stuff, but then the cops come after you, and it's not as cool as you think with NTE. Like, it's a little lame,
Gotcha.
but mostly because I know that they're trying to keep more of a teen rating on the game than
Right.
mature or anything. But yeah, I think there needs to be more games like that, honestly, with like the aesthetic of anime, but like more, darker or mature themes without going into, weirder territory. But anime GTA, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The last game we got on our list is Path of Exile 2. This game is made by Grinding Gear Games, as we talked about with Elon Musk. They have confirmed that version 1.0 will officially debut on December 11th, 2026.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I've been waiting for like more content on that game too. I play that for a while. I have a few characters. I wouldn't say they're like maxed out, but they're relatively high. I wouldn't mind seeing if they added more content. I'd probably start a new character and work my way up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be really cool. Actually, I'm gonna throw one game that probably isn't mentioned in this, but it's one I'm looking forward to because I think it's hilarious, and I think it's been mentioned in other media and stuff too. And it looks funny, but it also looks like it could be a really good game. And it's called WTF. And it's called...
Oh, wait. I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's Waifu Task Force or something like that.
Oh, never mind. I have
It's anime, like, basically anime COD. And you get these anime girl characters, the waifus, and they have... It's like a fully animated, like, sort of dorky, like, anime theme. And each character is like voiced differently and things like that. But the like gameplay that I saw looks really good. And I'm not a big like competitive player, but I'd probably play that one just for like the mix of themes, mix of genres.
Okay.
Because it's like JRPG-ish with the shooter kind of thing thrown together. Clusterfuck of a game. But if you take a look at it, literally on Steam, it's to be announced as far as I think the official date, but it's been around as far as like in development for a couple of years, I think, because I feel like I saw, I think it was Asmongold actually. I saw him reviewing like a trailer for it, and he was like, actually, I might be into that or something. And I was like, that's how I figured out about it. So I hope that one comes out soon. I hope it's later this year and not like next year or something, but if I have to wait, that's fine too. But I'm looking forward to that one as well.
And just to summarize everything again, Witcher 3 Songs of the Past will be coming out next year. It'll be Geralt's final adventure. You'll be also getting The Witcher 3 Remastered. That will be coming September 29th of this year. It's going to be a free visual and gameplay upgrade for current owners. Final Fantasy VII Revelation. That will be coming in the spring of next year. It will be coming to Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. With Exodus, that will be coming out April 7th of 2027. And it is a sci-fi RPG featuring an awakened octopus companion. With Metro 2039, that will be coming out February of next year. And it is going to be a grim new first-person gameplay type of game. With Path of Exile, that will be officially debuting on December 11th of 2026 with its full launch featuring massive in-game overhauls. With Rainbow Six Tactics, that will be coming out next year, and it's going to be a single-player turn-based strategy spin-off. And then with Anada, that will be coming out January 15th of next year, and it's going to be an open-world kung fu RPG set in futuristic cities.
Okay. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything, and hopefully they come out with more information later, because I think Gamescom's not just today, it's what, tomorrow too?
I think it extends until the 30th. Yeah, until the 30th.
Okay, so Gamescom goes until the 30th. Then on the 27th is when we get the Netflix announcement for GTA 6. So we will be taking notes on that as well. See what day is that? So that's what, Thursday, I think? Yeah, Thursday.
Yep, that's Thursday.
So So yeah, we'll be keeping track of that, hopefully reporting back next Tuesday next Friday about it, because if you don't know, we record on Tuesdays and then we put it out on Fridays, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unless I forget what day it is. But yeah, for the most part, we still have a lot to look forward to.
Yep.
There's, I'm sure, going to be a lot of announcements coming soon in November too, when they also release a lot of stuff, because November's like the month for releases, because it's right before the holiday season and everyone wants to get their game out as soon as possible, so it will get bought.
I remember specifically November doesn't have a lot of releases, and that's because a bunch of the companies are scared of GTA 6 over
That's
shadowing
right.
them. Yeah.
That's
So I
right.
wouldn't say that. I'd say September's pretty packed. I'm not too sure about October. Maybe December has some games. But November, I think the only company who's willing to go toe to toe with Rockstar is Nintendo with Ocarina of Time.
That's right. Okay. Either way,
Yeah.
we have a lot to look forward to, or everyone else does too.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. I'd say, of course, thank you guys for sticking around, listening to us yap for the last hour or so. If anything, please check out our other socials and things. So mine at Matt86 for Instagram, YouTube, Kick, and TikTok as well.
And also for me, mine's going to be Astronauts. Currently, I only have Twitch, but I'm working on a YouTube and possibly short form content with TikTok and Instagram.
So there you go. Feel free to follow us on all of those. And until next time, you guys have a great one, and we'll see you then.
See you then.